When you're eyeing a new gaming desktop, the first thing that sneaks into your mind is the fear of spending a lot of cash only to end up with a machine that feels just okay for the games you actually play. You wonder if the specs on the box will translate into smooth frame rates, how much room you'll have for future upgrades, and whether the extra accessories are worth the price tag. That hesitation is what drives most people to read reviews, watch unboxing videos, and hopefully find an honest breakdown before they click add to cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last week putting the iBUYPOWER Scale Gaming PC through a series of everyday scenarios that most gamers go through: a quick launch of a newly released title, a long streaming session with a few background apps, and a weekend of multiplayer matches with friends. My goal wasn't to test it in a lab. I wanted to see how it behaves when you sit down after work, fire up a game, and maybe grab a snack while a raid squad waits. The picture that emerged is surprisingly balanced. There are clear strengths, and a few trade-offs that will matter depending on how you intend to use the box. First off, the heart of the scale is the Intel Core i5-14400F. It's a 13th gen chip that lands you in the mid-range territory, offering 6 performance cores and 4 efficiency cores. In practice, you'll notice that single-player titles like Starfield or Elden Ring load quickly and maintain a stable 60+ FPS at 1080p with high settings. The CPU also handles multitasking without hiccups. I had Discord, a web browser with a few tabs, and OBS Studio running in the background while playing Valorant, and there were no noticeable dips. This is the sweet spot for gamers who want solid performance without stepping into the high-end price range. The graphics card is an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060 with 8GB of VRAM. For the current generation of games, the 4060 comfortably pushes 1080p and even 1440p in many titles. I tested Cyberpunk 2077 using the default ray tracing settings and managed a smooth 55-60 FPS, which is impressive for a mid-tier GPU. The card also supports DLSS 3, so if you're into games that have that feature, you'll see a bump in frame rates without sacrificing much visual fidelity. The practical side? If you're primarily gaming at 1080p on a 144Hz monitor, the RTX 4060 will give you plenty of headroom, and you won't need to upgrade the GPU for the next year or two unless you jump to 4K. Memory is 16GB of DDR5 RAM running at 5200 MHz, and it's already equipped with an RGB strip that glows softly if you like a little aesthetic flair. The capacity is adequate for modern games and streaming setups. What's more useful than the color is that DDR5's higher bandwidth means load times are marginally quicker, and the system stays responsive when you pop open a large mod folder or run a texture pack in Minecraft. For most users, 16GB is enough, but power users who regularly run virtual machines or heavy video editing workloads may eventually feel cramped and want to add a second stick. Storage comes in the form of a 1TB NVMe SSD. This is where the system shines in everyday use. Games install faster, and level transitions are almost instantaneous. I loaded Call of Duty: Modern Warfare 2, which occupies about 200GB, and it was ready to play in under a minute after the initial download. With a full terabyte, you can comfortably hold 3 or 4 big titles plus a library of indie games without needing an external drive right away. The SSD's speed also speeds up Windows 11 boot times, so you're not waiting around for the OS to load. One of the hidden trade-offs comes from the gamer keyboard and mouse bundle that iBUYPOWER includes. The keyboard is a basic mechanical-style unit with a detachable wrist rest, and the mouse is a mid-range optical model. They work fine, but they're not the kind of peripherals you'd keep for a competitive edge. If you already have a preferred mechanical keyboard or a HiPi mouse, you'll likely swap them out quickly. It's a nice value add for someone who needs a starter kit, but it does mean the overall price is a little higher than a bare-bones desktop with comparable internals. Now, who should buy this machine? If you're a casual to mid-level gamer who wants a ready-to-play system right out of the box, this is a solid pick. The included Windows 11 home installation, pre-configured drivers, and the extra keyboard/mouse remove the hassle of building your own rig. It also makes sense for students or professionals who need a capable workstation for occasional gaming, thanks to the decent CPU and fast storage. The price point sits comfortably under the high-end bracket, and the performance you get feels real for the cost. On the flip side, skip it if you're chasing ultimate performance for 4K gaming or plan to push ray tracing at max settings for the next few years. The RTX 4060 will hold up for now, but you'll